This is the news in brief from the United Nations. Reports of utter devastation caused by Super Typhoon Ray have continued to come in from the Philippines, where the UN response is well underway. In an update on Facebook early on Monday, top UN humanitarian coordinator in the Philippines, Gustavo Gonzalez, said that aid assessment teams had reached communities in need of emergency assistance at the weekend for the first time. They were able to access areas and communities hit hardest by Ray's 195 km/h or 121 miles per hour sustained winds, Mr. Gonzalez said. He noted that a coordinated response by UN agencies, NGOs and private sector partners in the country is underway to meet immediate needs in shelter, health, food, protection and other life-saving responses. According to reports, around 1.8 million people have been affected and at least 208 are known to have died since the storm made landfall last Thursday. It is feared that this number will grow once officials manage to confirm how many victims have perished in landslides and extensive flooding elsewhere. In November 2013, Typhoon Haiyan hit many of the central provinces that were flattened last week, claiming more than 6,300 lives. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres expressed solidarity with the people of Lebanon on Monday, insisting that the United Nations would do everything it could to help. Speaking to reporters after meeting the Speaker of the Lebanese Parliament, the UN chief said that every effort would be made to strengthen international support for Lebanon. This included humanitarian and development support amid an unprecedented financial and economic crisis. And in a message to Lebanon's political leaders, Mr. Guterres also urged them to come together to overcome divisions. Ahead of his comments, the UN Secretary-General visited Beirut port to pay tribute to the more than 200 people who died when a store of ammonium nitrate exploded in August last year. After expressing solidarity with the families of the victims, Mr. Guterres said that he understood their will to know the truth and to have proper accountability. To Somalia, where UN Emergency Relief Chief Martin Griffiths has announced a $17 million immediate cash injection for drought response measures after 3 years of failed rains. Mr. Griffiths warned on Monday that the lives of Somalia's people were on the line, before appealing for close to $1.5 billion to help 5.5 million of the country's most vulnerable individuals next year. People in Somalia have endured decades of conflict, recurrent climate shocks and disease outbreaks. The COVID-19 pandemic has added to their problems, along with a prolonged desert locust infestation, which has impacted on harvests and livelihoods. At least 7 in 10 people in Somalia live below the poverty line. Daniel Johnson, UN News.